Good evening. It is a tragedy that began in this Brampton parking lot and ended hours later at a gas station in Niagara Falls.
A mother murdered, a child taken, a father dead after an interaction with police. Tonight, a grieving family says they had concerns about the safety of the woman who was shot and killed yesterday afternoon. We start our coverage in Brampton tonight with CTV's Janice Golding. Janice.
Hi, Nathan. Yes, we're live right now outside a growing memorial here in a Brampton parking lot where a mother of 4 was shot yesterday afternoon. We spoke to both friends and family today, described their heartbreak with us. Heartache etched on their faces, the grieving drop off flowers for Savannah Kulla.
It is tragic. She was such a good person and a good mom.
Friends and family identifying the victim of a daylight shooting in a Brampton parking lot as a 29-year-old mother of 4, 3 boys, and a baby girl who was the subject of an Amber Alert yesterday.
I saw the Amber Alert and I knew right away it was her daughter. And I had a gut feeling it had something to do with the shooting.
Today, Kulla's family is reeling from their loss.
I can't believe it. Like, I woke up today like, where's my sister? And she's gone.
They also spoke of the conflicted relationship between the deceased and her accused killer, 38-year-old Anthony Deschepper.
She was in love with him. They met love at first sight, apparently. He was great for the first while. And while she was pregnant, and then afterwards, he just got worse and worse and worse.
She loved him, and then they were separated, and he just couldn't let it go.
Kulla's mother says Savannah had struggled with her daughter's father for some time.
Oh, he was just phoning her 50, 60, 70 times a day. You know, he had cameras installed, and we didn't know. Just keep an eye on her.
Alleging he'd been stalking and harassing her.
And she just tried to get away from him, and she would go see him and say, you know, this is over, and that's what she did on the weekend.
Now her granddaughter's mother and father are both gone.
I'm sorry to say this, I'm glad he's gone, and mainly because now her ex was very afraid of those boys being around when he got, like, violent, right? Not violent, but when he got crazy. So now I know that we'll be able to have those 3 boys again with no problem, because he wouldn't have let us see them if he knew Anthony was on the loose.
Still, 4 children are now without a mother.
She was just such a good girl, you know. She was just, like, so excited to watch her kids grow, and she was a great mom, and, you know, they loved her so much.
3 little boys were asking where Mommy was last night.
Although Kulla's family says they'll be doing what they can to support the children.
We have a lot of family members, so the babies will be okay. Kids will be okay.
Peel Regional Police have described the incident as an intimate partner-related homicide. Family described Kulla as a former competitive dancer who was kind and selfless and utterly dedicated to her children. Children, they say, are all under the age of 6. Reporting live, I'm Janice Golding. Now back to Nathan.
Thank you, Janice. The province's Special Investigations Unit has been called in to examine the circumstances surrounding the police-involved shooting of Anthony Deschepper early this morning.
The incident occurred hours after police issued a shelter-in-place warning for residents of Crystal Beach. CTV's John Musselman has that side of the story.
The manhunt ended at this small Niagara Falls gas station around 2:30 this morning. Police confirmed that 38-year-old Anthony Deschepper was a passenger in this vehicle. It was being driven by an unidentified woman who is now in police custody. Deschepper died at the scene after he was shot by police.
My understanding is that police were tracking this individual and they ended up boxing in a vehicle that the man was in, and then there were shots fired.
Police say a gun was recovered at the scene. A large bladed weapon was also visible on the ground. Deschepper was at the center of yesterday's Amber Alert after his infant daughter was taken following the alleged killing of the child's mother in Brampton. At one point, police issued a shelter-in-place order for residents in the Fort Erie area because there were concerns the suspect was nearby. Police say a short time later, he was tracked to Niagara Falls after dropping the child off to a family member in the Niagara region.
We received evidence that took us to Crystal Beach. And based on that evidence, a shelter-in-place was put in. That was to ensure not only the public safety, but the safety of our officers while they were looking for the subject.
We have since learned that Deschepper had previous charges for weapons offenses connected to a shooting in Brampton back in 2023. He also posted on a GoFundMe site last March appealing for financial support due to medical issues that he claimed prevented him from working. Deschepper fled in a different car yesterday. Police say it has since been recovered, but the location was not provided. Police have not disclosed the connection between Deschepper and the woman driving the car this morning that was tracked to the gas station. John Musselman, CTV News in Niagara Falls.
Niagara police are investigating after the body of a woman was found in a park in Lincoln. Police say she was found with traumatic injuries in Charles Daly Park around 11 yesterday morning. Police are treating the deaths as suspicious and are trying to identify her. She's described as 25 to 40 years old, between 5'3" and 5'5", and between 130 and 150 pounds. She has long, dark, curly hair and is believed to be of South Asian descent. She was wearing a pink zip-up hoodie, light blue jeans, and gold hoop earrings. No suspect information has been released. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
Staying in Niagara Region, provincial police say a man is dead after a 6-vehicle crash this morning in Thorold. Niagara OPP say the collision happened at 6:45 a.m. on Highway 406 near Highway 58. They've identified the man killed as a 32-year-old from St. Catharines, saying others involved suffered minor injuries. Our CTV News chopper got a look at the scene. Traffic was halted through the area for the investigation. The roadway was back open in both directions by mid-afternoon.
Also tonight, calling foul on the resale ticket market. The Premier looks at a legislative cap on prices as legions of fans strike out in their efforts to snag seats to the World Series without taking out a loan.
And the World Series isn't the only big event on the upcoming calendar. Halloween is next week, so it's only fitting as we look at our beautiful city this evening that we find our Lindsay Morrison all the way over in Milton, taking in a spectacular sight, Pumpkins After Dark. And Lindsay, the weather's kind of feeling more spooky these days, at least a bit chillier.
Michelle, the cloud cover has rolled in. It was actually pouring rain when we first arrived here, but it's looking good now. And yes, this is Pumpkins After Dark. It's not quite dark yet, but you can see already that these jack-o'-lanterns are aglow. And we're going to take you on a little tour around here. More than 10,000 hand-carved pumpkins along a 1-kilometer trail. So much to enjoy, especially as it gets dark. Here's a look at our weather conditions. On the satellite and radar, we have had rounds of showers. The rain is quite heavy in and around Niagara Falls still at this hour and in parts of the GTA. Winds have been coming out of the west. They're contributing to these lake effect rain showers. Temperature-wise, we are a little bit cooler than we've been. And as we take a look at what you can expect through the night tonight, a low of around 7 degrees. And yes, rounds of showers expected to continue into tomorrow. Again, we are live here at Pumpkins After Dark in Milton. You're going to see these all aglow not long from now. We'll take you on a little journey coming up. For now, Michelle and Nathan, I'll send it back inside to you.
All right, we'll check in a little bit later. Well, the Blue Jays are set to open the World Series against the Dodgers on Friday, and the games are the hottest tickets in town.
Tickets have become so costly that it's prompted the Premier to again threaten he's going to crack down on resellers. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris is live tonight outside Rogers Centre with more on the situation. Siobhan.
Well, we have seen fans streaming into the Dome, into the Jays shop to pick up World Series hats and T-shirts. Those tickets a little harder to get their hands on, and that has caught the attention of the Premier.
Outside the Rogers Centre, the headquarters for so much joy the last few days, everyone has a story of woe of being denied a coveted World Series ticket.
I was, I think, 138,000 in the queue for Game 6.
I wasn't able to get any. It's been crazy.
The tickets vanished in a flash. The resale market that took over.
Too expensive.
Fans have reported tickets listed for north of $25,000. That's what some Torontonians pay for rent in a whole year.
They need to do something about it. People shouldn't be making a business from reselling tickets. It just doesn't make sense.
The Premier has heard those frustrations and is considering changes.
My personal opinion, I got to talk to the whole team, but they're gouging the people. When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people. So we're reviewing that right now.
Doug Ford says he'll look at reviving a legislative move his government killed in its early days. It would cap the price for a resale ticket at 50% markup. In 2018, Ford's office said the measure introduced by the Liberals couldn't actually be enforced. But Blue Jays fans are giving this a standing ovation.
That's a really reasonable thing to do. It allows people to actually afford to come into games and shows that you want to be able to see.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Like, price gouging is out of control.
I think that's something good. The amount people are trying to make off other people, I think, is unfair.
Opposition parties don't think the government should have shut down the anti-scalping measure in the first place.
The Ford government once again failed everyday people in order to align themselves with corporate interests.
We need the government to take action.
People expect their government to make sure there's fairness.
Fans are still willing to stretch their budgets to witness history.
800 max. Yeah, for like the 500 seats.
But for now, they'll have to hope this is more than a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Late this afternoon, the Liberals introduced a motion in the House trying to revive that 50% cap on resale ticket prices. It was shot down. The NDP will try the same thing tomorrow, but again, don't expect that one to go anywhere either. Reporting live outside the Rogers Centre, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. Still to come, getting on board for baseball's biggest showdown. How the Toronto Blue Jays and Los Angeles Dodgers stack up in the World Series. We go to bat for both teams.
The World Series also means the reopening of a portion of the Gardiner is being pushed back. A section of the Gardiner between Dufferin and Strawn was supposed to fully reopen on Monday after a full weekend closure. However, with games 1 and 2 of the big show set for Friday and Saturday, plans for the closure have been postponed. If games 6 and 7 are played in the city following the weekend, the closure will have to be pushed back again. If that happens, the province expects the stretch of the Gardiner to reopen on November 10th.
The Toronto District School Board is reversing a controversial change to its application and admissions policies for specialized programs. Some TDSB schools offer programs with extra focus on science, technology, math, the arts, and other interests. Spaces are limited, and in 2022, trustees voted to start selecting who got to go, by using a lottery system. Advocates argued that was the most equitable way to make admission decisions. But the board says it will be switching back to a skill and merit-based approach, as it's been directed to do so by a provincially appointed supervisor. Education Minister Paul Calandra said the lottery system fails students who worked hard to earn their place. Applications for the 2026 school year open the week of November 10th. Ontario's opposition parties called for the resignation of the minister responsible for the Skills Development Fund for the third day in a row.
As CTV's John Woodward reports, the government canceled the fundraiser and didn't invite media to an announcement as it struggles to weather the scandal.
There was supposed to be a PC Party fundraiser at this site in North York Wednesday night. It was cancelled as the clouds continue to swirl around the Skills Development Fund. Ontario's opposition again called for the resignation of Labour Minister David Piccini.
Now that minister should be fired. He should be fired over this. He should be cancelled just like he had to cancel his fundraiser.
That's in the wake of news stories tracking hundreds of millions of dollars going to organizations who endorsed the PCs through connected lobbyists. Ontario's Auditor General found some $750 million went to organizations picked by political staff, even though bureaucrats ranked them low. Piccini was at Ontario's legislature to answer questions.
To the Premier, workers who really need this fund are asking, are you going to keep standing by your man?
Speaker, a near doubling of the number of women registering for apprenticeships. Wow. Those are the results. We're going to keep working hard to get the job done.
That morning, he'd also been at a Skills Development Fund announcement at the headquarters of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, but didn't invite the media. Some $8.6 million was handed out, $2.3 million to the IBEW. Records show their business manager has given $8,000 to the PCs in the past 5 years, $750,000 to the Provincial Building and Construction Trades Council. Several of its affiliates endorsed Doug Ford in the last election, though it says it doesn't take a position. $186,000 to Enercare. The lobbyist registry showed they hired a lobbyist for training and skills development.
The fund is not the problem, it's the politicians. The Premier and his ministers need to get their hands off that fund. It is not their personal piggy bank.
Piccini's been personally scrutinized. He was photographed at these seats with a director of a company that would go on to get millions. And the NDP has complained he went to the wedding of the lobbyist for that company.
You shouldn't be at the glass, you should be in the penalty box.
No sign Ford has given up on Piccini, though the cancellation of the fundraisers may sting. Records show one of Piccini's previous fundraisers netted some $50,000. John Woodward, CTV News.
The Prime Minister will deliver a primetime speech about the economy tonight, and there's a lot at stake.
Today, Mark Carney met with the leaders of the Bloc Québécois and the Conservatives, with the budget less than 2 weeks away. CTV senior political correspondent Mike Lagatour has the details.
What is the message you hope to convey to Canadians tonight with your address?
The message will be conveyed in the address.
The Prime Minister was tight-lipped ahead of his evening speech, which is being given to students who are entering the workforce at a moment of rupture in our history.
We have to make major investments in our economic capacity and our trade capacity. And I haven't seen the speech, but I'm sure he'll be talking about some of those things.
CTV News has learned the speech will focus on 4 themes: diversifying trade partners away from the U.S., a new talent and immigration plan to fill the workforce's needs, climate, and the core principle of the budget, to spend less and invest more. After an early morning meeting with the Prime Minister, the leader of the Bloc Québécois said his MPs will support the budget if some key demands are met, including increasing health transfers to the provinces by more than $11 billion.
It's their responsibility and only theirs to find somebody to vote with them. They know our conditions, and if they wake up a little bit late, it's once again their problem.
Ahead of his meeting with the Prime Minister, the Conservative leader was open to collaboration.
And if he takes my suggestions of bringing down the deficit to the level the Liberal government promised, of getting rid of the hidden taxes on food, well, then let's have a look at it.
Now, if the Liberals can't get opposition support for November's budget, the government would fall, and there would be the second election in just 7 months. But multiple MPs say Canadians aren't in the mood for that. Mike Lagatour, CTV News, Ottawa.
Overseas, Ukrainian officials say Russia launched a massive drone and missile attack across Ukraine, killing at least 6 people. At least 8 cities were struck, including the capital, where 29 people were injured. The wider Kyiv region was also targeted, as well as Zaporizhzhia and a city in the southern Odessa region. The country's energy infrastructure was also hit, causing rolling blackouts. U.S.-led efforts to end the war have floundered, and Ukraine's president has appealed for more military help.
The International Court of Justice says Israel must allow a UN aid agency into Gaza to provide humanitarian assistance. The court was asked last year by the UN General Assembly to determine Israel's legal obligations after the agency known as UNRWA was effectively banned from operating in the territory. Israel has denied it has violated international law, saying the court's proceedings are biased. It insists UNRWA is infiltrated by Hamas, which the agency denies. Today's advisory opinion from the World Court was issued as a fragile ceasefire agreement continues to hold.
The king has arrived in Italy for a 2-day state visit. The monarch landed in Rome today for a visit that will include praying together with Pope Leo XIV at the Sistine Chapel. It will be the first time the leaders of the 2 Christian churches have done that since the Reformation. King Charles will also be given a formal new title during this visit and receive recognition at a basilica with strong ties to the Church of England.
Coming up, making changes to accommodate the Blue Jays. The Leafs and Raptors reschedule start time so fans can watch the World Series. We have details on the game time decisions.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, one of the best ways to make your vehicle last is to change the oil regularly. A Mississauga woman says the engine in her SUV seized, and even though it's still under warranty, the claim has been denied. I'll tell you why. That story is just ahead.
It is pretty much sunset time now, and that means very soon it will in fact be pumpkins after dark. It looks beautiful here in Milton. Just wait though until you see it at nighttime. Now, we've had a little bit of rain today, not including today's rain. We are still tracking below average when it comes to rainfall amounts. A little more in the forecast for the rest of the week. Here's what that looks like. Not enough to catch us up to what we see on average in October, but yes, a little more wet weather is on the way. We are live from Milton. It is pumpkins after dark. We will have a full look at your weather forecast from Dracula's Castle Maze after the break. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Regular oil changes in your vehicle are important because oil lubricates, cleans, and protects your engine and prevents engine failure.
If you skip oil changes, you could damage your engine, and if it's under warranty, there's a chance the repairs won't be covered. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. A Mississauga family bought a used SUV last year. It was only 2 years old, so it was still under warranty. But when the engine seized, there was a dispute if they had done the proper oil changes when they were supposed to. Jacqueline Ferrer of Mississauga and her husband had a baby last year, and with a dog in the family, they decided to get an SUV. They purchased a used 2022 Mazda CX-9 with about 50,000 kilometers on it. Ferrer says over the past year, they took it in for oil changes.
We've taken it for its oil change every 5,000 kilometers, and it's been good to us until it wasn't.
Ferreira did not purchase the SUV from a Mazda dealer and uses her own mechanic for maintenance.
So we do get our oils changed with our own personal mechanic.
In August, there was a problem with the vehicle's camera and then it wouldn't start. They took it to a Mazda dealership and were told there was a problem with the oil level and the engine was seized.
They were asking for proof of our oil changes. We sent them photographs of our oil changes.
Following an investigation, they were told the engine failure was not a defect and would not be covered under warranty. Ferreira says her mechanic had to install a used engine at a cost of almost $10,000.
Financially, it's going to be debilitating if it's not covered.
When CTV News reached out to Mazda, spokesperson said Mazda Canada declined the warranty claim on evidence the engine failure was not caused by a manufacturer defect. A review revealed irregularities in the maintenance documentation provided. If your vehicle is under warranty, you don't have to go to a dealership for oil changes, but many people do. If you do go to an independent mechanic or a lube shop, you do have to follow the owner's manual and the scheduled maintenance. You have to use the right oil and filter and keep detailed records. Mazda told CTV it recognizes the situation has been difficult. Therefore, Mazda offered as a gesture of goodwill to reimburse the cost of the used engine installed by the independent garage. Ms. Ferreira accepted the offer. The family still has questions, but agreed with the outcome.
At least the cost of that engine is covered, which is still a great financial relief. Thank you, CTV. We're really grateful. Thank you so much.
And performing oil changes on time is some of the best maintenance you can do. The cost to replace some engines is now as much as $15,000, and for luxury vehicles and pickup trucks, it can be $25,000 or more. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
To the beaches now, where the century-old trees that line Neville Park Boulevard are a stunning feature of the wooded street.
But despite their beauty, residents fear it is only a matter of time before some of them come crashing down and say City Hall won't help. CTV's Natalie Johnson has the story.
This is going to be my primary bedroom, as you can see, like a really cool cottagey style roof. And then this crazy big tree, which I'm super scared of.
Towering above this backyard in the beaches is a massive red oak, perched on the slope of the ravine that lines the eastern edge of Neville Park Boulevard.
It looks really heavy, and it's like at a 45-degree angle, like right over the house. I just wanted to get rid of it. Like, there's no point in taking any chances.
But when Sean Miller sought a permit from the city to remove the privately owned tree, it was denied per the bylaw because it had been deemed healthy and maintainable.
There's so many kids who play on the street, and I think for their safety and for everybody's safety, like, let's just remove some of the danger.
An arborist hired by the homeowner to conduct a risk assessment described the tree as being in fair to good condition and unlikely to fail within the next 2 years. But the report also noted that if it did fall down, the consequences could be severe given the size of the tree and the proximity to the home.
We see perfectly healthy trees that present as perfectly healthy, snapping, tipping over, and when they do, it often ends up in the backyard of somebody's property or even worse, through the roof of their house.
It has now happened 7 times in the past 5 years on this street.
They just keep falling like one after the next.
Including in August on Maya Perot's property.
It was very, very scary. We were so lucky that the house wasn't affected, that didn't fall on us.
Today, though, at Community Council,
some of the assessments that had been done from the ground level had assessed trees in the past as healthy and
maintainable.
Oh, interesting. So sometimes that's an assessment that's done, and yet we still have catastrophic failure.
Miller's request to take down the tree was rejected on appeal.
What we don't do is remove trees just because a tree nearby fell. What we don't do is remove trees just because a local councillor feels like it. We remove trees when there's a real risk.
A red oak now wrapped in red tape as Miller looks to plant roots in his new neighborhood.
It scares me. It's just very intimidating.
Worried about damage to his dream home before it's even built. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
All right, to the forecast. I know Halloween's over a week away, but it kind of feels like we're getting the Halloween-type weather. Are the decorations out?
The decorations in our house were out at the very beginning of October this year, but you're definitely seeing more of them in neighborhoods. And I think what's helping us get into spooky season is that, Lindsay, it's dark right now, you know, right over the 6 o'clock hour.
Yes, and we've had some cloudiness today. We've had some rain and some drizzle, even a little foggy near the escarpment here, which is perfect for pumpkins after dark. I must say it's taken me a little bit to get into the Halloween spirit with all the Jays action distracting us a little bit, but we're here now. James, you are the chief pumpkineer here at Pumpkins After Dark in Milton. We haven't quite seen it in the darkness yet, so describe to our viewers what people can see when they come down here.
This is essentially an art show, so you will see handcrafted sculptures made of pumpkins. So it's a spectacular light show. During the day it doesn't look like anything, and at night it absolutely comes to life.
And I understand that there are about 10,000 hand-carved pumpkins that become jack-o'-lanterns and are lit up through the night that people can walk through. It's all lined on a trail. We'll show it to you if we can. Tell me, how long does it take people to walk through this and enjoy?
So although it's only a kilometer, it takes most people probably about 55 minutes to an hour and a half to get through the whole thing. There's a lot to see, and people have their favorites, and they spend a little time with those displays.
I think this is a pretty good way to get people into the Halloween spirit. Do you have a favorite display?
I always have a favorite, and this year it's the Krampus display. It is absolutely spectacular.
Oh, wow. Well, we right now are inside Dracula's castle maze. It was a bit of a maze getting in here, but it's keeping us dry. We're in among some fog, real and courtesy of Mother Nature. Oh, and whoa, look at that. We do have your weather forecast to get to, so let's get right to it. We're going to begin with a look at the satellite and radar to show you what's been happening outside with all that wet weather. It is raining in different parts of the GTA right now, but it is also improving condition-wise in many areas too. We've been dealing with rounds of showers, and we will continue to, thanks to this area of low pressure that simply continues to spin. We've got gusty winds coming out of the west, and that is triggering some lake effect rain showers. Here's how it looks to play out as we make our way through the night tonight. Not bad out here for the evening if you're thinking of coming down and enjoying an event like this, many of them happening around the GTA. But waking up tomorrow morning, we are likely to see more in the way of wet weather, again clearing at times for the afternoon and the evening. And then here's a look into Friday night. Things look a little bit better, and the weekend is going to be filled with sunshine. Just before we talk about temperatures, I want to bring you up to speed on Tropical Storm Melissa. It is going to be impacting parts of the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and veering closer to Nicaragua and Honduras as we make our way through the weekend. So that's one to watch. Temperature-wise right now, yes, it's a little bit cool outside, but if you dress for it, it's not bad, 9 degrees. Overnight tonight, we are expecting to fall to about 7, so not too far from where we are now. Let's take a look at tomorrow at a glance. Overall, it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud, kind of day with some showers. Seasonal temperatures, 12 degrees is what we're expecting. Let's get to that 7-day forecast and show you what's in store for the weekend. Again, we are here at Pumpkins After Dark. Michelle and Nathan, I'm going to send it back inside to you.
Ooh, thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, it's being touted as a milestone in women's health. Ontario Health releases Canada's first ever quality standard for menopause care. We'll explain coming up. For decades, menopause was an unspoken topic among families.
But Ontario health practitioners want that to change, and they've drawn a new guideline for the province. Our health reporter Pauline Chan has more.
47-year-old Pinder Baines has been in perimenopause for a couple of years now with various symptoms.
I had a neurologist for headaches because I had unexplained headaches. I also had gynecological issues where I had abnormal bleeding, and at the same time, like hot flashes, brain fog, trouble concentrating.
And she says no one really prepared her for this stage in life.
Unfortunately, like in our family, nobody really talked about it.
That's why Dr. Ileana Lega says the guidelines developed by Ontario Health are so important.
So knowing how to recognize perimenopause and menopause is really key to getting the ball started on eventually treatment. There's a lot of misinformation about safety around hormone therapy, and so the guidelines really help summarize who is a good candidate for hormone therapy, how to start it, and how to maintain someone on it.
Dr. Lega says as the body changes, so do a woman's health risks.
There are many changes beyond symptoms that need to be addressed. It's a time of cardiovascular risk factor acceleration, meaning blood pressure starts creeping up.
Menopause is also associated with problems like losing bone density, diabetes, high cholesterol, and muscle loss.
I did have various different treatments that I was getting until I was able to see Dr. Lega and was put on HRT, and I can tell you that it's helped tremendously.
Dr. Lega says hormone replacement therapy is safe for the vast majority of women like Pinder, helping with hot flashes and night sweats.
It has benefits beyond that. It's very effective as a bone protecting agent. It can help with sleep. It can help to a certain extent with some joint pains and sometimes with some mood issues.
She says those perimenopausal years in your mid-40s to 50 are a good time to rethink your lifestyle, diet, alcohol intake, smoking, sleep habits, and especially exercise.
Anything you do where you move your body is very important. Ideally, there should be a strength training component as well, so muscle building.
Baines shares her information on menopause openly with her friends.
Every woman is going to be different. Every woman will have different type of symptoms, but I think within my generation and that we're going through this together.
And for more information, you can check with the Menopause Foundation of Canada or the Canadian Menopause Society. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A new study is shedding light on a major source of burnout for Canadian doctors: increasing amounts of paperwork. The study, shared by RBC, consulted about 500 physicians over the summer. 72% said non-clinical administrative work was a significant driver of workplace exhaustion. 77% said their administrative workload was reducing the time they spend with patients. The research follows warnings from the Canadian Medical Association that 2/3 of doctors are spending more time on those tasks than they did 5 years ago, driving demand for innovation and streamlining of paperwork.
Meanwhile, think tank MEI is out with a new report warning Canada is burning through its young nurses at an alarming rate, just as healthcare systems across the country struggle to keep them on staff. The findings show for every 100 nurses under 35 who registered to practice, 40 others did not renew their registration in 2023. The report says nursing job vacancies have also tripled nationwide over a 5-year span, from around 13,000 in 2018 to nearly 42,000 in 2023. The authors said the findings show the importance of staffing flexibility to keep younger nurses in the profession.
A popular drama returns to the screens this weekend.
CTV's Andrea Case reports the mayor of Kingstown may be set in Pittsburgh, but there is a Canadian connection.
The streets are quiet, Mikey. Let's take the calm where you can get it.
He may have co-created the TV series The Mayor of Kingstown, but Kingston native Hugh Dillon has his eyes on Toronto.
It's Kingstown.
Yes, my mom's 100. She's living in Kingston, and she lets me know that the Blue Jays are killing it. Well, we're going to win the World Series. It's just that simple.
Returning in the role of Detective Ian Ferguson, the award-winning TV show set in Pittsburgh is in its 4th season.
It's been wonderful. Hugh is not a nice person. So that's been, because he's Canadian, you know how you guys are. So that's been the only challenge for me.
All kidding aside, new to Kingstown, Laura Benanti has been cast in the role of a correctional officer.
I really feel for all of the characters, even ones I probably shouldn't. And so joining this cast has been really wonderful because the set is a pretty joyous place.
Hoo-yah, Stephen! Benanti has been getting laughs with her reoccurring role as Melania Trump on The Stephen Colbert Show. Benanti is a Tony winner and Dylan is a Juno Award nominee, but don't look for them to team up for a duet.
I will say, no, we're not doing that.
Dylan, who is also an executive producer, isn't surprised the connection fans have made with the intense, gritty drama.
I've always dreamed big, as you know, coming from Kingston and you know, getting to Toronto and from Flashpoint on, I just always did. And singing the Headstones, our album is out now, and we start touring in November. I always kept these to myself, but I always wanted to do this. And then I was just lucky to have it happen on such a ridiculous scale.
Mayor of Kingstown Season 4 debuts on Paramount Plus on October 26th. Andrea Case, CTV News.
After the break, East versus West. How do the Blue Jays and Dodgers stack up? We step up to the plate and cover all the bases as we look ahead to their World Series showdown.
It is tragic. He was such a good person and a good mom.
Updating our top stories, family and friends have identified 29-year-old Savannah Kulla as the woman shot and killed in the parking lot of a Brampton shopping center yesterday. Kulla's family says she'd been stalked and harassed by her ex-partner, 38-year-old Anthony Deschepper. Kulla was the mother of 4 children, 3 boys and a 1-year-old girl, who was the subject of an Amber Alert following yesterday's killing.
My understanding is that police were tracking this individual and they ended up boxing in a vehicle that the man was in, and then there were shots fired.
Meantime, the province's police watchdog, the SIU, is now investigating the death of Anthony Deschepper. The man wanted for yesterday's homicide in Brampton was shot and killed by police at a gas station in Niagara Falls early this morning. Deschepper had previous charges for weapons offenses connected to a shooting in Brampton back in 2023.
My personal opinion, I got to talk to the whole team, but they're gouging the people. When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people. So we're reviewing that right now.
And the Premier says he'll take a look at the ticket resale market after prices for World Series tickets skyrocketed after being released yesterday. Doug Ford says he'll look at reviving legislation that his government killed in its early days that would have capped the price of a resale ticket at a 50% markup. At the time, the government said the measure couldn't be enforced.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photos or video of breaking news, let us know.
Gold started the day in decline after taking a big hit on Tuesday. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has tonight's business news.
Gold hit a high on Monday of close to $4,400 US an ounce. On Tuesday, it started to sink. The precious metal dropped more than 5% yesterday, which was the steepest one-day price drop in a decade. It lost another 1.5% earlier today before starting to recover. But gold has had a banner year overall, gaining over 50% as countries turned away from the US dollar and towards gold as a safe haven. There's a long list of vehicles being recalled this month in Canada, from Toyota to Tesla and Ford to Fiat Chrysler. More than 100,000 vehicles are on the list, with recall notices for everything from batteries to brakes. Owners will get notified in writing if their vehicle is affected. And Tesla reported third-quarter revenue of more than $28 billion as American customers rushed to buy electric vehicles ahead of a credit expiring. But Tesla's actual earnings were down year over year. Tesla blames higher spending on AI research and development and fewer government credits as reasons. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.51. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.50. Western Canadian Select is up to 45.07. And the TSX is up 94 points today, but still under 30,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are on their way to Toronto, in the air right now. You're looking at the team boarding their plane in L.A. this afternoon.
The Dodgers are hoping to defend their World Series championship. The Jays hoping to capture the Commissioner's Trophy for the first time in more than 30 years. CTV's Heather Wright has more on how the two teams stack up.
Tinseltown versus Hogtown.
Hollywood versus, well, Hollywood North. The World Series heads to Toronto this week. 2 teams, 2 cities, but only one champion.
Nervous, a little bit of an upset tummy, but I think we can do it. I think the Blue Jays have more spirit. They play like the team is even all the way down from 1 to 9, and they play like a team.
As they were at the start of the season, the Dodgers are the betting favorites to win their 2nd World Series title in as many years.
She's gone!
Well, the Blue Jays have gone from worst to first, finishing dead last in the American League in 2024 to winning it all this year.
I think that it's anybody's game, and I think the Jays are the underdogs, and the underdogs always come out.
The LA Dodgers have won 8 World Series in their history compared to 2 for the Toronto Blue Jays. And when it comes to payroll, both teams may be big spenders, but LA has doled out far more cash for stars like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts.
The Dodgers' payroll is closer to $350 million, whereas the Blue Jays is about $250. So $100 million, that's a huge gap, right? That's another Shohei Ohtani or 2, right, that they can afford with that difference.
And while the Dodgers took the season series against the Blue Jays 2-1, the Jays have the better regular season record and have earned home field advantage because of it, which at least one statistician says gives the Jays a slight edge.
I did a simple statistical model and just tried to put it all together. I'm currently estimating Toronto with a 52.46% chance of winning the World Series.
At the end of the day, though, there really is only one number that matters, and that is 4. 4 games to win the World Series. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
4 little old games. The start times for 3 Toronto Maple Leafs games are changing because of the World Series, by the way. This Friday's road game against the Sabres has been switched from 7:30 to 7 o'clock. The Buds were set to host the Sabres on Saturday at 7, but that has been moved to 5 p.m. The Leafs have also adjusted the start time of Tuesday's home game against Calgary from 6:15 to 6 p.m. Fans are being invited to stay afterward to watch the Jays on the Scotiabank Arena video board following the 2 home games.
The Raptors are also making changes. They were scheduled to host their home opener against the Bucks this Friday at 7:30, but the start time has been moved up to 6:30. And tip-off for next Wednesday's home game versus Houston has been switched from 7:30 to 6:30. The Blue Jays games will be shown on the video board after both games. MLSC says the time changes for the Raptors and the Leafs provide fans the chance to watch the Jays play. Meanwhile, the Raptors begin their season tonight in Atlanta.
After the break, rally caps, lucky shirts, and all kinds of oddities. Superstitions are alive and well as the Blue Jays head into the World Series. The winning rituals as fans gear up for the battle against the Dodgers.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
While the Jays are preparing for the World Series, fans are also preparing in their own special ways.
CTV's Rahim Ladani has more on the superstitions Blue Jays faithful are hoping will bring the team good luck.
Inside this Kensington Market bakery, there's one flavor you could say is good luck.
Coconut cream pie.
That's Wanda Beaver. She and her husband David own Wanda's Pie in the Sky. During the World Series in 1993, coconut cream pie was Joe Carter's favorite, and he was craving a slice to be delivered before the historic Game 6.
He was sitting there with a couple of other fellows, and he says, well, how much do you want for that? And I go, tell you what, make you a deal, Joe. You can have the pie for free. You just have to return the pie plate when you're done with the pie, after you win the World Series, I said. And he goes, sounds like a deal.
And we all know what happened next.
It's the pie that won the World Series. That's what we used to call, we still call it. Now we're getting people coming in and they go, I heard your stories. I want a coconut cream pie. Is the magic? The magic is still there. And every time that happens, they win.
As the 2025 Blue Jays gear up for their first World Series appearance in more than 3 decades, a lot of fans have their own superstitions they'll be following.
I've had 3 beers each game that they've won, so 3 beers consistently.
Same jersey, same hat. Around the 7th inning, just before it started, rally cap on.
While everyone has their own game day ritual for the World Series, it might have been Vladimir Guerrero Jr. himself who broke Toronto's Game 7 playoff curse. Vladdy walked into the ballpark ahead of the Jays' deciding game against the Seattle Mariners wearing an Austin Matthews Maple Leafs jersey. Anxious fans feared the fashion choice as the Leafs have lost all 3 Game 7s they've played in the Matthews era. But Guerrero went on to win the ALCS MVP, and the Jays punched their ticket to the World Series.
Everyone in here is rooting for the Jays right now, obviously, so it's I'm sure it's the same thing when they're coming to our games, but for him to show some love and respect to Austin is obviously well-deserved. It's great to see from Vladdy.
Back at Wanda's, they say if any Jays player is looking for dessert ahead of this World Series,
Joe Carter had a good idea, and it worked for him. Maybe it can work for you, too.
Yeah. One slice may lead to the sweetest win of all. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
All right, any superstitions?
Not really, although I know a lot of people with some, the hat, the shirt, keep wearing it. Oh, I wore this shirt when they won, so we got to wear it all the time, that kind of thing.
True. How about you, Lindsay?
All been wearing blue on the air, so I think that superstition and trend is going to continue. So much to look forward to right now, you guys. The Blue Jays and, of course, Halloween. Here's a look at pumpkins after dark. Now that it is, in fact, after dark, it's pretty cool here. Great little spot to come down and get into the spooky spirit of things. If we can, I want to show you your 7-day forecast one more time. Weather-wise, we're still dealing with some wet weather here. School day forecast for tomorrow looks like that, and improvements come into the weekend. It is going to be cool, but at least we will enjoy a little more in the way of sun. Love that Friday night forecast for the Jays. It's been great out here in Milton. Michelle and Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate it. It's gorgeous there at night. Well, that is it for us, but be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman, who has your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching. Have a great night.